Hi, this is Pratima and Jeff Scholl.
Welcome back to A Path to Peace in Marriage. We're going to talk a little bit today about a tool called the Feelings Chart, and I'll be posting a PDF of this chart available for you. Probably put it on my Facebook page for now until we get our website back up and running.
Yeah, and we'll try to link it to this YouTube video so that you can print it off and keep it somewhere where you can refer to it. And the reason we felt like the feelings chart is important because as we shift towards using responsibility communication, especially in terms of validation, it's helpful to have some words that you can use behind I feel. So I feel, and I can look at this chart and say, I feel discouraged. I feel discouraged that I'm not making more money. I feel betrayed because my daughter lied to me. And that helps the other person then
Be able to validate that, whatever that feeling is. And again, validation is to give value to. So where instead of judging that person's feeling or telling them in some way that whatever they feel is wrong, we're just showing them empathy by agreeing with, okay, you're feeling whatever you're feeling. It's not my job to tell you what you're feeling,
yeah.
right? So, but I'm providing kind of a sounding board for that and say, yeah, I understand that.
Yes.
Anybody would feel betrayed if their child lied to them.
Exactly. So why don't we go through just some of the words on the feelings chart and like maybe how to use it a little bit. And it is in the Self-Mastery book.
Right. And so one of the ways that Hugh taught us to use the chart is both with a healing feeling, and you'll see on the chart a general feeling. And so, for example, if I'm feeling angry about something, sometimes the chart is helpful for me to even figure out what it is that I'm feeling.
Right.
Because I've got so much pressure inside of me. And it may not even be just one feeling. We were taught that sometimes it may be three feelings, and you may kind of have to parse out exactly what it is, what you're feeling, and if one of those feelings is stronger than another. So, for example, if you have been betrayed in some way, it's normal to feel angry, right? Because betrayal is a boundary violation in some way. So, if we repress that anger, then it would be normal for us to blame someone else if you're not feeling that. And so when you're blaming someone else, if you're talking about their behavior and trying to get them to change, that's really about blame. Instead of focusing on what I feel, and I feel angry, and that's when you really start to tune into the physical sensations of the energy of anger.
And I would say that in relationships, in the beginning, it's normal to blame you for things that I'm angry about. And in the beginning, I think that happened a lot. And you would change your behavior.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that, but then I didn't focus on why I was feeling that way and where that was coming from and what that was triggering. So it's easy to say my life will be better when you change.
Right. And because I was a people pleaser, I did change. But here's what happens is if you change all these different ways, and it's like playing whack-a-mole, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to change all these different ways. And then you run out of ways to change. And because you have changed all these different ways and the anger hasn't changed, then it creates a resentment inside of you.
Yes. So what we're teaching is it's really important to own our feelings so that we can then figure out like what that's about. And his job is to trigger where I have opportunity to heal. And that may be a further, discussion. But we in this.
But I want to explain something about that trigger there, where she says it's maybe come across a little confusing. Is his job is to trigger. That's not my conscious job.
Right.
We always talk about that we became, and I talk about it. I talked about my journey in a book called A Path to Peace: A Reluctant Spiritual Journey, and in that I talk about being the trigger person, but all that person really is doing is reflecting back the energy that you're unconsciously sending out, right? So we're not always consciously sending out all the emotional energy. It's like we're a transmitter, and we're transmitting out all the energies that are stored within our subconscious psyche. And so we're just like this 24/7. We're transmitting out a signal, and our partners reflect back to us sometimes the things that we want to see and sometimes the things that we don't want to see. But there's always going to be somebody in your life, typically your partner or your child or your coworkers, that are going to reflect back to you the parts of yourself that you need to heal. And once you heal it, it either doesn't bother you anymore, or those people disappear out of your life, or they stop reflecting that back to you.
And we got really good about healing the things that triggered each other. And so then we had a daughter, and she showed us lots of opportunities to heal, and still continues to.
And still continues to.
Because I'm really focused on communicating with love with her. And the purpose for this series is to help you communicate with love with your spouse. And if you get something out of what we're saying, please comment below if you have questions. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to help couples. Like and subscribe so that we can know that these topics are helpful to relationships like yours.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this.